sergeants. We need a few more. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Friday, February 26th. Welcome to your Los Angeles City Council. Please take a seat. Shh. Please take a seat so that we can begin our work for today. Mr. Clerk, I believe we have a quorum. Could you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonabusca, Cedillo, Engler, Fuentes, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Carrasco, Corcoran, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Weston, 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Harris Dawson moves and Mr. Bonin seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Martinez moves and Mr. Weezer seconds. That brings us where?
Mr. President, the Department of Building and Safety recommends that items 1E, I, K, M, R, and AH be received and filed inasmuch as the liens have been paid in full, that items 1F and 1Z be reduced to $1,387.29 and $1,634.02 respectively, and that items 1U and 1AD be continued to March 18.
Okay, so without objection, that will be the order. Continue.
Item 1 is an item noticed for public hearing. We do have cards, sir.
Okay, continue.
That brings us to items 2 through 7. They're items for which public hearings have been held.
Members, specials, I do not see any. Let's prepare to vote on these items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
All right, let's
and Mr. President, item 2 will go over 1 week for a second. We'll go over to March 15 for a second read unless reconsidered later with 12 members. That brings us to items 8 through 11. They're items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Do we have cards?
Yes, sir, on 8, 9, and 10.
All right, that brings us where? Let's vote on 11 then. Members, specials. Let's, on item 11, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, that brings us where?
Mr. President, that brings council to presentations or items called special.
Thank you. Why don't I ask Mr. Englander if you'd join me at the center aisle, and we'll get Ms. Martinez to manage the president's chair. Hi there, come on, let's get started. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, please. Let's make this an attractive photo here. Madam President and members, today is a special day. Today we recognize, acknowledge, celebrate the good works, and say so long to one of the best and the brightest that we've had for this at the city of Los Angeles and Jim Featherstone. Let's give Jim a round of applause. He's standing right behind me. General Manager of our Emergency Management Department. He will be retiring in a few days, and I look at you and I hate you because you look younger than me and you're retiring. But you know, Jim is a native of Washington, D.C., came to Los Angeles, got a job with the fire department in the mid-1980s, worked his way up through the ranks, became a supervisor at one point in time, was even a labor negotiator, then was asked to step in and pinch hit as we reorganized the Department of Emergency Management. Within a year, he was asked to stay on as the general manager. And for those of us that have been here a while, we have not seen that department in the shape that it's been in since Big Jim has come in and reorganized that department. Let's give him another round of applause to James Featherstone. And so then a funny thing happened. I mean, we had like our fourth vacancy in a row where we were looking for a fire chief. So what did our new mayor do? He asked Mr. Featherstone if he would step in, hold the fort, and kind of reorganize some things. He did that. He did that with honor. And then we were fortunate enough to get him to return back to his normal post. And then all of a sudden I hear he's going to say so long. When you're a kid, all of us remember there was always one kid on the block that you would always try to pick to be on your team. There was always one kid that was good at just about everything that he and she did. And I submit to you that that is James Featherstone, one of the best utility people in the business. We are going to miss him at the city of Los Angeles because you could put him in just about any position and he would perform at an extremely high level. So, Jim, I want to just say, personally, it was an honor to work with you and to get to know you. I wish you and your wife success. I cannot believe that you are really retiring. So, when you get ready to leave, I want you to whisper in my ear and tell me exactly what the heck you're going to be doing. But you will be missed. You know, thank you for the service that you've given to this great city. At this time, I'd like to ask another individual who has worked extremely closely with you to come up and say a few words, and that's President Pro Tem of the Council, Mitch Englander.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, it's bittersweet to think that Jim's leaving and going on to Bermuda shorts and margaritas, beachfront properties, traveling the world, but well earned. You think about the most important function that we have here in the city of Los Angeles, and that's to keep people safe, period. Then you think about keeping them safe in the worst disasters that you can fathom, in the worst emergencies, during the lowest times in people's lives. And then you got to think that we have to put somebody in charge before all of us to represent us and think about those contingency plans, the operation plans, preparing over 4 million people and all the businesses and all the visitors here for emergency preparedness. And then to think about the fact that we are, by far, bar none, the safest large city and the best prepared in the country. And then you think about who's responsible for that. Jim Featherstone has earned us that mark. And you think, with all the things that we go through, and in fact, my district, as many of you know, has been labeled the epicenter of disaster. I'm not sure that that's a good
I'm not going to say anything.
But we certainly see our fair share of disasters. Our annual fire season, you buy a home in CD12, it comes with marshmallows. We've had the Chatsworth train accident, which was the worst horrific train accident that we've ever seen, killing 25 people, injuring over 175 people, and preparing for that, and then the aftermath. The hardest part of an emergency is actually the recovery. Right now, we're dealing certainly with the Aliso Canyon gas leak, and Jim set up the center in our district to bring all those families not just home, but home safely. If you think about all the things we go through in planning, not just for emergencies, not just for perhaps the inevitable terrorist attack, but just all the good times too, from the Lakers parades and the Kings, all the things we have to anticipate for. Who's at the cornerstone of all that but Featherstone? He is the cornerstone and has been. Irreplaceable, bar none. He has set the bar high. And we are safe because of it. The programs that he's instituted working with us on the OK Help sign, that we know all of our neighbors are going to now have to be the first responders because we don't have enough to go around in the city in the event of the next major earthquake. And that's going to happen. He helps us prepare for that. And bringing neighborhood councils and community-based organizations and faith-based organizations together and thinking proactively how to reach out to them, get them CERT certified, working with the fire department. It's been Jim doing all that work, working with us. This is a big, big loss to all of us, make no mistake. He has really set the bar high, but he's put programs in place that will outlive him and all of us. And for that, I'm very grateful. Jim, congratulations to you and your wife. You've earned it. You've made us a better city and a better people and safer because of all of your work and your dedication, your devotion to the people of Los Angeles. And we say, congratulations. God bless you. Thank you. So on behalf of all of us,
I want to be next to you.
yes, yes.
You next to Mitch.
Mr. President, this frame's taller than we are.
True.
On behalf of all of us, we all signed this personally and want to say thank you, congratulations, and you deserve it. We're all forever in your gratitude. Thank you so much.
Let's get a photo right here.
Mr.
Next.
Engler, Mr. Weston, we have a few members on the queue.
Here, let's put it down here. Otherwise, we're going to be cropped out of the thing.
Mr. O'Farrell would like to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. I just want to rise and add my appreciation, words of appreciation for all that you have done and do every day, James. For 2 years, 7 months, and 26 days, as long as I've been in office, you have always been the consummate professional. From the time you were interim fire chief, and I had a real hard time not calling you Firestone. But now I've gotten used to Featherstone. And to your time as general manager in the Emergency Preparedness Department, you really do set the example in professionalism and selflessness and going above and beyond. And I think that's your legacy. And I agree with Mr. Wesson. You seem way, way too young to be retiring. So I look forward to supporting you in whatever your next endeavors may be. And a big thank you from the 13th District.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Thank you. I want to add my voice to the voice and that everyone has been expressing of gratitude for you and your sort of steely professionalism when it comes to all of this, which is also why I got such a kick out of when we discovered that my father-in-law was your teacher back in Washington, and he would describe a very different Jim Featherstone with big hair and a rabble-rouser, and we had some good laughs, you and me, when talking about those days and these days, and you have just been so good to work with and so responsive. I mean, in my district out in the West Valley, working with my VPREP task force, the Be More Prepared, not only doing the big job for the city, but when you saw that there was interest by a local community in my area in trying to push the level of preparedness, you jumped right in and you empowered folks in my district to make a difference. And so I really am grateful to all that you have done and the professionalism in which you've done it. And it's a big loss for the city for you to be retiring, but I wish you nothing but the best and all good things.
Mr. Rue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jim, I have mixed feelings. I'm so happy for you, your wife, and your family that now you get to spend time on your own and do all the things that you want to do. But it's a tremendous loss for the city of Los Angeles. And as far as the emergency management department's involved, you're the only one I knew. You're the first person I met, when I got here, and you've just been nothing but helpful, nothing but professional, nothing but always there in light of potential crises and crises that have happened across the city. And I just really thank you for everything that you do. But knowing you, I'm sure you can't stay away too long. So I'm sure we'll find something for you to do. But thank you so much, and thank you for all your service to the city of Los Angeles.
Mr. Bonin?
Thank you, Madam President. Jim, congratulations. I'm happy for you. You actually do look a little bit younger than you did just a couple weeks ago. I've known you for a lot of years. I've known you when I was a staffer. I've known you as an elected official. I've known you wearing various different hats. But I have one particular memory that stands out, and that's November 1st, 2013, when we had the terrorist incident and the fatal shooting at Los Angeles International Airport. It was your first day, as I understand it, as I remember it anyway, as fire chief, as interim fire chief. What a hell of a first day it was. And I remember you that day at the airport, at the command center. There were a lot of folks, there were a lot of agencies, there was a lot of concern, there was a lot of confusion. You were calm, you were steely, you were steady, and you helped make sure that the city's response that day was smart and coordinated, and you made sure that cool heads prevailed all day. You were a credit to you and to the fire department and to the city of Los Angeles, and I just want to thank you so much for that day and for every other day that you've worked for the city of Los Angeles.
Mr. Koretz?
Thank you, Madam President. And a lot of what I would say has been said by everyone else. You've done an amazing job, and you've been great to work with. Personally, I want to thank you for something that now is minor but wasn't originally, which is getting the city well prepared for El Nino. Now, of course, we thought it was going to be Godzilla El Nino. So far, it's been Pussycat El Nino. But we couldn't take any chances. It still may hit us hard in March. And you've done an amazing job in preparing us and the city for that, along with everything else you've done. So I just wanted to add my voice to those, thanking you for your incredible service and the wonderful job that you've done. And I wish you a great retirement.
Madam President, Mr. President, council member, the distinguished members of this body, I'm always humbled when I come before this group, because this group represents the people of the city of Los Angeles, who myself and my family have committed our lives to supporting and making safer for the last 3 decades. First, I'd like to, in front of this body, thank my wife, Sean, who, without her, none of this would have ever been possible for me. She is one of my strongest compass points, and she makes it so that every day for the last 30 years has been a labor of love for me. I have enjoyed coming to work this morning no less than I enjoyed the first day on duty in 1986 as a young recruit firefighter. So it's been my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to serve the city of Los Angeles in a public safety capacity. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do anything else in terms of occupations. I'm a one-trick pony. Thank you for providing me the opportunity. A young kid from Southeast Washington, D.C., never have any aspirations or any thoughts of being able to stand before a body such as this and in a city as great as this, and to have had the last 30 years the opportunity to literally enjoy coming to work every day. And so that's a testament to government. That's a testament to the city of Los Angeles. And thank you for the very kind words. But I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you all. Very, very much appreciative.
Mr. Featherstone, hold on for just a second. Mr. Price would like to also say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, just want to say, Jim, thank you for your service. I've only known you for a short period of time, 2.5 years here, but you've always been very positive, very encouraging. You've been a real positive role model for all of us. And so we just appreciate your service, appreciate your commitment to the community, your professionalism, and your willingness to give back through your professional and other activities. And so we're just sorry to see you go, but we know that your hand and your handprints are still all over our community, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you,
you and your wife.
And Mr. Featherstone, I just want to thank you for my first helicopter ride. We survived. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris Dawson, ready for your presentation?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. As we continue up until the very last day, our celebration of African American History Month, I am proud to bring to our body this morning a celebration of city family members who are alumni of historically black colleges and universities. There are over 107 historically black colleges and universities throughout the nation. They are both private and public. The first historically black college or university to hand out degrees was the one and only Lincoln University. And it wasn't quite that year, but a little bit later, they gave a degree to our own president of the city council, Herb Wesson. We have a sweatshirt for him because we wanted him to fit in today. So we're going to ask him to come down and join us and receive his sweatshirt from Lincoln University. Let's all give him a big round of applause. There are so many schools. The historically black college movement started, as you know, before apartheid in the United States was defeated. African Americans weren't allowed to go to the regular colleges and universities, and so the community said, we'll build our own. And we built our own, and we built them all over the country. And even after apartheid fell and we had integration, those institutions remain important institutions, and they're important to our city. Behind me, I think we had over 60 RSVPs for today, and there are folks from police and fire and engineering and ITA and the city attorney's office and general services, and almost every department in our city is staffed in one way or another by an alumni of historically black college or university. So let's give them a big round of applause. I'm gonna do something very very dangerous here. We asked everybody to wear their sweatshirts and their jackets to celebrate. And so we're going to try to do a little bit of a roll call. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but we're going to try it anyway. So let's see here. We've got Arkansas in Pine Bluff. We've got Clark Atlanta. I've got my own staff member, Bernard Dory, is a graduate of Clark Atlanta University. We've got Fisk, Grambling State, Florida A&M. We've got a big contingency from Hampton University in Virginia, a big contingency from Howard University and Howard Law School. My own staff member, Chanel Brown, is a graduate of Howard. We have Langston and Lincoln. We have Morris Brown, North Carolina Central University, Prairie View A&M, Shaw, Southern Tennessee State, Tuskegee, Xavier, Bennett College, Central State College, and we have Spelman College in Atlanta. And we have last but not least, in Atlanta, Georgia, the alma mater of Dr. Martin Luther King, Spike Lee, Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson, and your own 8th District Council member, Marquise Harris Dawson, and our Assembly member, Sebastian Ridley Thomas, the one and only Morehouse College. So I want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. It's a very important time in the movement for historically black colleges and universities, especially the public ones, because a lot of states are saying, well, since we have integration now, we don't have to fund you. We can cut you and, make you go into the pool with everybody else. And the reason that's the wrong thing to do at this moment, today in 2015, more than half of African-American doctors are undergraduates of historically black colleges and universities. More than half of black engineers, more than half of African-American attorneys are graduates of historically black colleges and universities. So this movement is still very important to the country, very important to the community, and very important to the city of Los Angeles. So thank you all for joining me in this celebration, and thank all of you for what you have done for the city and what you will do in the years to come.